I couldn't if I tried. Hey everyone, how's it? Ooh, excuse me. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a podcast with David of Wolf of Financial on Web3 conferences, Veve, fintech, OMI, pretty much everything that you could ask for. He's exceedingly busy, having a schedule of I don't know how many spaces he hosts and goes into every single day. Wolf Financial has almost 300,000 followers over on their X account. Are a very, very big supporter of Web3. They have the entire Web3 conference that we'll get into. I tried to get Veve to go to that. Veve at that web conference, unfortunately, will not be a thing. They were just too busy. When I went and asked David about it, I was like, hey, here's something like they would pay for booth. They could do this and that for you. And it was like, listen, we already have our places that we're going to. So most likely that's going to mean San Diego, New York Comic Con. I'm not sure about NFT NYC. It seems that officially Veve only goes and tells us about these things a couple weeks prior. But Sanjay's putting on a big party in New York City already. He wouldn't have done that if we weren't going to New York City. And then I would still say for San Diego Comic Con, we get there. For any other Comic Cons, I'm pretty sure we'll be looking at really maybe just NFT NYC. Again, there are going to be other things that are going to happen. We just don't know 100% which ones they are now. Get the comments real quick. Bill Garner says, let's go. What's going on? Booth says, Omi to the moon. We've had a decent stacking day here. For me, I got another several 100,000 Omi, so I'm at 181.5 now. So I have 181,500,000 Omi. Like I said, I will get up to 185, and then there's something that could possibly happen that I could go do before April where I could wind up getting a lot more Omi, like well over 200 million. So, like I said, any additional funds that I get outside of bills and outside of the very basic bare needs, the bare necessities, will go to Omi because it's still too cheap. I had a lot of fun going and purchasing Omi at 00055, 0006, anywhere in between until now. And I'm still buying now. We're at like a 1-year high. And why am I still buying? Why am I buying at the top of this 1-year high? Because it's still stupid undervalued. Nobody knows about it yet. The narrative hasn't hit. The metaverse narrative, even though Disney did just breathe a little life into it. And then you had the digital collectibles narrative. Now, Mr. MC1 has been very vocal about there being something crazy big happening next month. Is it going to be what Marvel's announcing? Is the Marvel announcement going to be a nothing burger compared to what else is happening? I don't know. There's a lot of different things that could be happening, and it could be several different things. But the stuff that we know about, not the stuff that we don't know about, but stuff we know about, Omi to NFT, Omi to bronze tickets, gives us a lot more utility for it. Gives people a lot of reason to buy it. And then this BitGet thing, where even though officially I have their actual response here, BitGet that they gave us earlier today, said, hi, no news regarding Omi token listing on BitGet yet. For now, stay tuned to our official BitGet announcement for listing updates. Thank you. The reason why I bring this up is because when we had an Akomi tweet, I think it was yesterday, they had gone on and tweeted, we released an update on Omi token priorities for 2024. They did this in late January with a strong focus on accessibility and utility for the token. So that they go over a lot of things in there, but accessibility and utility, they say take special care in order to mention. Make sure to join the Akomi Discord to stay up to date with news or announcements as they are released. I don't think they did that for no reason. They didn't do that for their health. Are they trying to grow the Discord? Yes. They can go in that and they can grow that Discord. That's fine. I really do wish they would go in and have a really more standardized, like, okay, we're only going to release news on X. Or I would hate it if they only release news on Discord, but pick a platform, my opinion. And again, I know you're trying to grow the Discord. I know that looks better, good for the numbers, but X is how the fam, the Veve fam and the Akomi fam goes, and that's where they get most of their news. Do some people find out later on Facebook? Sure. But there's a bunch of people that I know that really don't like to use Discord, or they won't use Discord. And I feel like you're kind of cutting some of the bigger whales off at the ankles by asking people to do that. Especially when you had the Comeyverse, or I'm sorry, the Veveverse invite sent out and say, okay, now the next step is go and talk to someone at Discord so they can verify something. Again, had a big issue with that. But either way, it does not matter. As soon as it goes and gets announced, there's going to be a lot of big things happening. Speaking of big things happening, in from the blue corner, we have David from Wolf Financial. What's going on?
Randy?
How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. What's good?
Well, we just started the show. Everyone say hello to Dashy. Hello, Dashy.
Hello, Dashy.
Where's your doggo? Where's Bubba?
Bubba is here. Want to come say what's up?
You got to show the fam.
Yeah, up. You got to see what's up.
Oh, I see the little white fluff ball. Oh.
Yeah, that's my boy.
So how did he get famous? I saw a lot of people commenting about him. He was in the profile picture.
How did Bubba get famous? I mean, he's Bubba, number one. But I can't remember actually like which stream he was on. But the last time I very like this is like my third YouTube like thing ever, you know.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was on with Max and Tasha, and I mean they knew of Bubba before, but everyone got a chance to like meet Bubba on the We're Not Best Friends podcast with those two. So yeah. But you saw the picture you saw the picture that I sent you with the dog, like with Bubba, like that was him that was during pandemic at like maybe 6 months, 8 months. Yeah.
All right. You guys have barely aged.
I think I've actually aged considerably since COVID, but hey, it is what it is. What up, Wes? Go.
You got a lot of fams here. Make a sandwich. So we have. How long do I have you for? I know you're exceedingly busy. Bunch of spaces each day.
So yeah, I was given fair warning. They were like, "Do you know how long Randy's going to be streaming for?" And I'm like, "Why do I need to ask that question?" They were like, "Homeboy streams for like 69 hours at a time," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can't do that."
I did that once. That's one time, and but most of the podcasts they're 1 to 3 hours, depending on the guest and how much time we have, and
I'm good for a little bit. So we're good for now.
All right, cool beans. So we have I don't know where to start. All right, let's go back. Call me Hillary Duff, and let's go back to the beginning, back to when the Earth, the sun, the stars are all aligning. What got you into Web3?
If I'm being honest, what got me into Web3 was during COVID. There was I ended up getting a big chunk of money from obviously like everything shut down here in California, right? So there was like literally nothing to do. So there was no clients, and I had just started my business right before then, like maybe like 2 months right before then. And it was actually funny because I was at the Laker game the night that like they called everything off and that whole like hubbub started.
Oh, damn.
It was wild. But ultimately, what got me in was once COVID started, like my business, obviously I couldn't do shit. Literally, I couldn't do anything. So I was like, what am I actually going to do with this now? So I filed for unemployment. They backdated my unemployment. I ended up getting a check for like, I don't know, like 15 or 18, something like that, like $18,000. And nice. I was like, all right, let me see what I could do with this. And I opened up Coinbase and I was like, let me start reading about this because I had some friends that were telling me about it, yada, yada. And I was like, let me see what's going on. And I made my first trade, which was an XRP trade that I did super well on it. I kept it open. I think it was I kept the trade open for like a day. I made a couple $1,000 and I'm like, okay. I think I could like, this is good. I realized like how different. Yeah. I was like, let's go. So I realized how different it was from like the TradFi world. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see what this is about. And then I just kind of, I fell in love with it. Like I never fell in love with like work, I guess if you want to call it now, I did this, man. The blockchain was the best.
Yeah, this is my playground. This is my home. The first thing and the pandemic really got me because I was just lending out money to business owners, and then when the government told them they couldn't work, they're like, "Yeah, we're not paying you back." Like, oh, lost a lot of money with that, and I made too much money to qualify for any type of assistance or unemployment. So that was a double whammy. That I'm still salty about that.
It's tough.
Yeah, it was bad times.
Yeah.
But I had a bunch of Pokemon cards to sell. I had a bunch of Tesla stock. I had a bunch of everything. And I wound up getting into Earth 2, and then into Veve and Omi after that. And then so that's kind of what propelled me into Web3, just searching on blockchain for different things. After you found XRP, what was your next move?
How do I keep this profit? Because that was the day, but the day before XRP got delisted from Coinbase was the day that I made this trade, and it was profitable. So now I was like, okay, so I had to learn really fast and on the fly what the hell a wallet was, because I was like, I got to get this out of this account, but where do I move it to so that nobody can touch it, just in case?
Yeah.
So I called up my cousin in Paris, and I was like, listen, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but like, you got to go get one of these wallets. It's called a MetaMask. I need you to write these 12 words down, and I'm going to send you this money, like, just in case. So he was like, okay. So after XRP, so I sent him that. XRP got delisted the next day. Because if you remember, essentially, like, if you had your money on Coinbase, if you had XRP on Coinbase, and they once they suspended trading, you were stuck. Like, you were fucked. Like, you couldn't do shit. We can curse on here, right? Like,
yeah, do whatever. Yeah.
All right.
We can say anything you want on here.
Okay, good. Don't tempt me. But ultimately, essentially, like, after XRP, I was just like, all right, I went down like the blockchain rabbit hole. I was like, this was, I knew not to get too comfortable, but I started doing research on all these different coins, what they did, the tech behind it. And I mean, I was doing like 8 to 10 hours of just blockchain reading every day. It was,
oh my God.
Yeah, it sounds like a nightmare to some people, right? Normally, I think it would to me, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I loved it. I just thought like reading about the different use cases and shit. But yeah, after that, I was like Howard Hughes in my apartment. You know what I mean? Like, my friends had to call and check up on me. I even had two of my boys fly out, and we're like, bro, like, you gotta get out of this house. It was bad. But yeah, 2021 was fucking amazing. And then the reality sets in, then it's like, oh shit, let me remind you that this is crypto. It was 2022, like right after like the high of everything was like at the height of like the Veve, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like January, February.
Yeah, like January, February, like, I cashed out a good amount of money. I took a little bit of, obviously everyone was taking 50% haircuts, but I was like, I don't give a shit. Like, I turned $3,000 into, $40,000-$50,000 bucks. I was like, I'll take it. And then after that, it was just, trying to figure out what I was going to do and where. And I knew I didn't want to go back to work for somebody, you know what I mean? And I figured, like, this is what I love to do, and I got to figure out a way to make this work. And yeah, it's been a grind ever since. And believe it or not, like, it's odd job here, consulting job there, random shit here. And you finally end up to where, and it's actually really coincidentally enough, I actually signed my deal with the Wolf team today, officially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so all the stuff you were doing was unofficial, or was it just contracting until you signed on officially to the team?
It was, we had it on paper, right? But like, I think there was a lot of things that needed to be ironed out, because it's a small business, right? And it was just two guys, and what they gave me to do was like super unclear, right? It was like I was coming in and running spaces, but there was a lot more behind the scenes kind of stuff that goes into it, right? You're spending a lot more time prepping for the spaces than you are actually running them. So we just needed to iron out the details. But I mean, for the most part, though, like, I've been working, like, up until today, I've pretty much been working for free, essentially, like with the Wolf team. Yeah. So, it's been almost about 7 weeks, right? And, 7 weeks of not seeing a paycheck, like, it's a grind, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's good,
especially as you go and you get other people paid for certain things, and then you're not seeing that yourself.
Yeah.
That's a rough deal.
It's tough, but yeah, man, I'm excited about it. Like, I'm super happy with like where I'm at right now. Look, I see it as, I don't want to say stepping stone, but like, I like the guys that I'm working with. They're good guys. They're honest guys. The reputation really does go far, and the guy's got a pipeline a mile long. So now it's just like, once we hit our stride, it's going to be a wrap, man. Like, we're going to be bringing in like client after client, and yeah, man. What up, Angel?
So there's a little bit of disruption going on. In 2021 at NFT NYC, you had, or I guess even in 2022 also, you had a lot of people, a lot of like Web3 companies or NFT projects that go and say, hey, we just had this VC give us, $2 million, and we are looking to go and, hype up our project. We're not done yet, but, a little video here, video there. I think at those conferences, I got approached maybe, I don't know, like a dozen times per day to say like, hey, do you want to make content for our thing? And I couldn't really do it with anyone because they didn't have a working product. They just didn't have, they just had like a couple $1 million and a run rate of maybe like 1 to 2 years. It just didn't seem good. And then in 2023, most of those people weren't there. And now it seems that AI has been kind of disrupting things where you have, okay, this was created by a person and this was created by, artificial intelligence, and which one looks better. Do you have any worries with that, with your
Yeah.
job and job security, or just the space at large?
I feel like the space changes so fast, right? I do worry a little bit sometimes, right? Because in a way, like I prided myself on being in the know to the point where, like, even still to today, like you sleep 4 or 5 hours. I sleep barely 4 or 5 hours a night, and that's because it's wild, but because there's almost this FOMO of like I don't want to miss any information, or I don't want to miss something that happens, right? Because if I'm not in the know, then I feel like I'm putting myself behind the 8 ball. But I think once I get like a little stability with this, like, bro, I haven't seen a regular paycheck in forever. You know what I mean? Like it's been nuts, So yeah,
What hours do you sleep? Do you sleep from like 3 to 7 or like 5 to 9?
so roughly, right? So
Yeah.
I have my so today I started my day. I was up at 8 a.m., but I went to sleep yesterday at like 3:30, right? So 3:30 in the morning till about like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I get up, I run my whole day, and Monday through Friday, I do a 1 a.m. show like with these UK guys.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's like a wake up Web3
yeah.
daily show. So I do it with them, and it's about an hour. I guess host sometimes, but yeah, it's a grind. But for me, that's like new business, right? Like that could be like new clientele. Like I'm trying to form relationships with those guys so that they can ultimately say, hey, like go work with Wolf Web3 over in the States, and I'll refer them some business. So yeah.
Walk me through how you guys sign up clients, and how you guys make revenue, and how does it start? Like you say, oh, Randy, we're looking to work with you.
So initially, right, it's like we're working with brands, right? And I told them like, look, off the rip, like I have brought in business already, but on the BD side, like they have the pipeline and they're handling the pipeline. You know what I mean? Like everything is inbound. So we don't really have to do much. I think they're like the reputation precedes itself. What up, fam bam? Wait, how do I see the chat? How do I see the chat? Because I always did this shit last time, but yet there it is. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Comments.
you should be able. Yeah, you should be able to go and see. You might get a little bit of pressure there from the VV fam to go and buy a gold logo, or to get more OMI, because you can never have enough OMI. But but yeah, you might get a little peer pressure there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So in regards to like signing up clients, yeah, that's not really my thing. For me, it's like I love building the relationship with them. If it starts off with me, like we're about to close the deal with we're just in the final pieces of closing the deal with Hedera, right? The blockchain. I knew
Yeah.
nothing about Hedera, but that's going to be a really nice size deal, right? So ultimately, for me, I'm like, this is a great, like, the relationships for me is everything, right? Like there was one thing that I pride myself on. You know how people say like your network is your net worth, and like you hear that 1,000,001 times.
Yeah.
Like I love that saying. Like for me, that's everything. So I don't know. It's about building relationships for me. I'm not so much involved on the BD side just yet, but I will be, because I know that I'm a killer closer. So yeah, in terms of signing people on, not my thing.
How much of it do you have to go in as like a salesman, like, all right, closing time, versus how much of it is like, dude, the product sells itself, and you just like, we have the best network, we have the best team, and
It's consultative, right? It is. It's like that's the best kind of sale, right? Like I did the transactional sale for a long time. Like I was a hard closer for like 3-4 years, cold calls, the whole 9 yards. But to be like the consultative person, where ultimately it's that much easier, where they come to you and they're like, hey, we've heard about you, we want to work with you, and they hear you too, right? Like they hear me on spaces, so they know what they're getting in a way, right? It's almost like, just go back and listen to the last recording. Like, did you like the space? Did you not like the space? um but yeah, like I like the consultative aspect so much more than I can kill the hard close, but the hard close is just, it's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it takes a lot out of you. Although it can be fun if you want to go and be like, okay, we're going to take you out to this steakhouse, and now, okay, what does the client want? Does the client want to go to a baseball game? Do they want to go to a strip club? Do they want to go where, it can be fun, but yeah, sometimes you have to drink a little more than you want. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. And
I don't miss that, man. I remember I used to have to do that when I was on Wall Street, dude. I remember I used to have to take clients to. We ended up when I was in New York. I ended up taking up clients to Rayo's, and if you know Rayo's, right? Like Rayo's all the way uptown. Like you have to know somebody because like they own the tables. It's not like a restaurant where you just make a reservation. And funny Rayo's story. When I went up there, I ended up meeting Brian Cashman, the GM for the New York Yankees, and it turned out to be like a crazy night. We ended up partying with Brian Cashman from the New York Yankees, like in some fucking Cheetah nightclub on 28th Street. That was some wild shit. Yeah, that was good times. Good times.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do love those stories, which they are. In the 20s is a lot. Now I feel like some things have shifted a little bit. Where I feel like a lot of guys they get like a second wind after they get divorced, and they want to go and just like party. But there was a nice like a good 3 to 4 year period where everyone was calm. It was probably the pandemic. But on the aspect, and I don't know if you can answer this, like what your favorite project is. So what type of projects are your favorite to invest in? What are your favorite types of products to onboard? Is it something where it's like a venture philanthropy? Is it something where it's just NFT project? Do they have a whole blockchain?
So I feel like the whole chat's about to go nuts because I feel like they know exactly what I'm going to say when it comes to like the project. Like, so currently right now, right? Oh, zip it, Tasha. Fear for the Bubba content. I'll be back in a minute. So right now we have a crypto chat. I have a crypto like group chat going on Twitter. We're going to soon migrate to Telegram eventually. But the ones to answer your question, my favorite ones are ultimately the ones that I know that I feel can make me a lot of money. Right? I'm equal opportunity. Yeah, fuck all that. I'm equal opportunity employer. If I see the play, I'm gonna make the move. Right? But I think now I've never had more conviction in anything or any project or ecosystem than I do right now. Like legit. Than I do right now. And that's the Stacks ecosystem on Bitcoin. I mean,
tell us why.
You want me to really nerd out on this right now?
Okay. Yeah, nerd it out. Nerd it up in here. Get all Sheldon Cooper up in there.
I'll actually tell you this way, in case people on your stream maybe haven't heard it, right? So Rolex is in here, and I'll tell you the Rolex story, right? And then that kind of segues into this.
Yeah, Rolly.
So Rolex, about 10 months ago, like me, Millie, Prop, Rolex, like we were sitting in one of these like trading rooms, right? With what I thought were a bunch of like, crazy tweaker dudes, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, we're sitting in this room, and I see like, we're talking about, they're talking about different coins and tokens, and I'm teaching them how to add liquidity to a pool, and they tell us about this Stacks ecosystem. And we're like, okay. And he's like, I'm putting money into this right here. This is the Dogecoin of Bitcoin. And we're like, what? The Doge of Bitcoin? So all of us are like, all right. We each put in a small amount of money, right? Like, I don't know. I think I put like 40, 50 or 20, 30 bucks. Millie put 40, 50 bucks. Rolex ends up putting $1,000 down on this dog coin. And it's literally 10 months. I don't know. He buys 15 million of these things. Okay. Fast forward to, I don't know, about a month ago, I start talking about this, right? And then Rolex comes onto a space and he says, yo, I just got off the phone with Prop, and I got 15 million of these Welsh tokens. And I'm like, Welsh tokens? I'm like, have you seen where do you own them from? And he was like, let me see. So he goes to open his wallet and he tells me where he owns them from. And I said, you know where it is right now, right? He goes, yeah. He was sitting on, until we actually swapped everything out, he was sitting on about $200,000 into $60,000 in 10 months. Almost forgot about this wallet. Okay. And we swapped, listen to this. We swapped into the Stacks token, which then went on from $1.50 or 60, now sitting at $2.80 or 90 cents. And he still, we like, I say we as if like, I feel like I'm invested with him. Rolly, I'm invested with you, bro. That's how serious this is. And legit, it feels like we're doing this almost like as a group, right? We're cheering each other on. Obviously, I'm super happy for Rolex and doing that stuff, but yeah, that was a crazy story, and that's kind of what got everybody alerted to it. In a way, it kind of did. It put it on the map for us. You know what I mean? It put it into spotlight, and yeah, we've been junkies ever since. It's my PFP now on Twitter. I've never committed to something like that before, but I did this time, Randy. But yeah, it's been great. And look, I think people see it for themselves. What I like is when people hear you invest in something and then they invest alongside you, there's always that pressure. But ultimately, right, when people are in profit, it gives them time to really like stop and look at shit and say, okay, is this what I'm going to do? Like, is this like a legitimate thing? Instead of just being like, hey, am I just going to throw my money in here because Dave and Rolex and Millie and the rest of the crew are in this? And nah, that's not what it's about. So I think people are really starting to understand what this is, what this does, the story behind it. And yeah, when smart money comes in, bro, and Wall Street, you talk about hedge funds all the time, bro. Where do you think hedge funds are going to put their money after they're done with Bitcoin? They're going to be like, how do I get my people to pay for shit? They're going to be like, tax layer 2, bro. That's it.
There's so many things are being disrupted. I have mostly found myself slowly becoming an ETH maxi, but I don't know, the ordinals are pretty cool too. Those are pretty interesting. Have you ever gotten into the I don't know, like the punks or the pizza day ordinals?
Yeah, so I mean, there's not much. I haven't gotten into them, right? Because I can only afford so much, right? But there's not much that goes on in these ecosystems that, like, it sounds like a dick when I say that, but like that I don't know about. You know what I mean? Like I'm a junkie for this kind of knowledge, like legit. So yeah, on the ordinal side, like I own a few ordinals, a few inscriptions. I think the pride inscription that I have, shout out Jay Yabs, who put me on a while ago. I got 123,000 inscription. I don't even know what number we're up to, like, I don't know, the hundreds of millions at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like there's so much disruptive stuff, dude. Every single day there's something is being disrupted, Randy. I'm not even kidding you, man. But
I know. I see it. Before I get into the next disruptive thing, well, I guess this will count on it. When was outside of stacks and outside of what you guys really just went through, turning $1,000 into 60,000, and then turning that, after you buy all these coins into what, like 100,000, basically turning from
like right now, he's probably close. It's at that. Yeah, I would say he's probably close to probably 80, 85x or something like that right now. Yeah.
I'm trying to get him to go and buy like at least 100 million OMI, but probably, I don't know, as much as he can get. How much OMI do you have? You don't have to answer directly. You could just ballpark it.
No,
say a lot.
Yeah, no. It's okay. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm probably not gonna win a lot of people over in this minute. But I don't own any OMI at the moment. I own 0 OMI. Yeah, and that's not a non-belief, right, in the OMI token, right? Like for me, it's just that's a personal thing where it's like I have limited finances. I have to ultimately make the commitment to where that is. And look, do I think it's going to do great things? Yeah, I just don't. For me personally, I don't have. If the catalyst is there, I'll sell a ton of shit and I'll put my money into OMI when something's about to crack. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's a lot of catalysts.
Yeah,
some public and some private, but yeah, there's a lot of catalysts.
Yeah.
Sell
me. Tell me why I need to sell some. You got to seriously make a case for me to sell anything in the Stacks ecosystem right now to go buy OMI.
I could do that in a heartbeat. I'll do it in a couple heartbeats, but first I have to gauge where you're at and what your main concern is.
Oh, like I said, I don't have like a concern. I know like if I can buy and hold it, I would hold it. You know what I mean? I probably have like a couple 100,000, maybe 400,000 or 500,000 somewhere like in a wallet.
Yeah, but there's a reason why you don't have a bunch, and I'm just trying to determine what that reason is. Other things might do better. Have you just read a lot of like kind of not good posts about it?
No. Yeah. So just to be really direct, right? Like I'll say this again, right? So it has nothing to do with the team, has nothing to do with, it's not like I dislike the OMI token. I just really like the Stacks ecosystem that much better. And for me, what's been my problem, right, over my crypto journey has ultimately been I get distracted really easily, and then I end up diluting myself, and I can't really commit my attention to like one thing, like truly. So for me, I put my money in the Stacks ecosystem, which, by the way, like I said, I haven't been making. I killed it in 21. It's been a fucking grind for the last 2 years. So like, it's you know what I'm saying. I got rent to pay and shit. So for me, I couldn't afford to have just, you know, 3, 4, 5 grand in Omi just sitting around doing nothing, right? Like it has to be working for me, and I have to be able to see what's going to happen to it. I can't just wait around, right? I need something that in my head is like, it has to be more predictable. But the price action for me at the end of the day, honestly, Randy, if I get in at 0006 or if I get in at 001, it doesn't matter. But like, if I have the conviction to get in, I'll get and I'll have the money, I'm in. By the way, I'll have you note, at the height, I owned about 14 or 15 million Omi. I took a little bit of a bath. I mean, nowhere near as bad as everybody else, because like, you know, things move 30%, 40%. I'm just like, all right, I got to start cutting. You know, so I took probably like a 35, 40% cut, like hit on that. I was looking through some of my screenshots on my wallets. Man, that shit hurts, boy. Whew, considering what it was. But yeah, I mean, I'm still bullish on the, like, I can't believe I just said the word bullish. I hate that fucking word. I'm still like, I have a massively positive outlook on what the team is doing, on the company, and everything else. Yeah.
So Sidwag says Randy's going to give Dave a Jimmy Neutron brain blast about Omi. I'm so glad that we have Jimmy Neutron still being referenced in 2024. I'll give you something. What I'm about to say to you is, I just went on like a big whale retreat this last weekend, and it is a.
What is that? What is a whale retreat?
It started a while ago, but it's basically going to instead of me saying the same thing, you know, like 8 different times to 8 different people.
Yeah.
You know, normally high net worth individuals is like, okay, let's get all in one place and just talk about this stuff for 20 hours, you know, while we go and you know, have food, we drink a little bit, and basically sell us on doubling down and getting more. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I told them.
Okay.
And this, as a result, partially as a result, is getting them to put in about another 7 figures in. That's total. That's not each, but you know, and
when you say whale, just so I'm clear, current whales that are already in this ecosystem that own Omi, yes, or this is new money.
So they already own about. Well, there's 2 different or 3 different groups here. One group that I'm talking about now is the ones that are kind of already in. They took cumulatively together 1.2, 1.3 billion, give or take.
Wow.
And they're about to get several hundred million more, depending on. I mean, if the price stays down here, goes down, it's possible with that million they get like another billion. That's not going to happen though. And the reason why part of the reason why they're doing that is this, like what I read to them or what I said, and I kind of wrote it down. So it'll take a couple minutes. Just be advised. 2021, 2022, and this is the same thing I just kind of told you here before. NFT projects were able to raise a couple $1 million from VCs on the sole aspect of just, we're an NFT company. And they took estimates of what they'd likely sell and the growth of the market. 98% of those people have closed their door because they overextended themselves on their run rate. They didn't have a working product by the end of it. There was no intellectual property that people could identify with. They proved that pixelated 2D pictures of animals would not be the end all be all for digital collectibles. People need something that has a history as well as something that they trust. The Veve company, as you know, has the top IP in the world from Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Universal, all nostalgic brands with everyone's favorite characters. And a rhetorical question, if you were a hedge fund manager and you had the option to sell your clients on digital collectibles, what would you pick? Pixelated 2D images of random animals, or high-end 3D digital collectibles of Spider-Man, Superman, Batman that you could take with pictures with in augmented reality? That is not even a hard call. Next thing you need to look at is a CEO. Who runs the company? Are they a CEO who's there just to think quarterly and receive bonuses in the short term? Or are they the original owner and they do it because they're passionate about what they do? Elon Musk is the owner and CEO of Tesla. No one else can do what he does the way that he does because of his intelligence, experience, and intimate knowledge of electric vehicles, which is disrupting the internal combustion engines market. David Yu has been winning entrepreneur awards since he was a teenager. He's the only teenager to ever get the Pokemon license. He has over 30 years of collecting experience, has several successful businesses in the industry, and digital collectibles are disrupting. Meow, you have a question?
So, yeah, I have a question. So,
sure.
Just so you know, you don't got to sell, like, I hope you're not trying to sell me on it. Like, The catalyst, when I say catalyst, I mean like a net, like I see exchange listing.
Mhm.
Exchange listing, Randy. This is a very different story, right? If I see an exchange listing, then okay, then my ears perk up. I'm sold on everything else. Like I believe, like you should have heard me last night on Crypto Billy's. I was a guest on Crypto Billy's Twitter space, right? He's making this whole book thing, and I literally closed the show and I said, listen, like guys, if huge brands, and I gave the whole Veve pitch as a closing thing to a room of like 600 like listeners, where I said, look, if a company like Disney is giving their IP to a company like Veve, and they're continuing to do so year after year, because I've been in this now going on 2.5, 3 years, like that tells me that we're moving to a different, like the paradigm is shifting. We were talking about Bitcoin, right? So for me, you don't got to sell me. I'm sold on the Veve, bro, the business model, all of it, bro. Like I still own collectibles. Don't get me wrong. I have like over like 1,000 comics and collectibles. Like I'm in there. You know what I mean? So I'm good. But OMI as a token, yeah. Not yet. Not yet.
So I'm pretty sure, I guess I know the answer to this now.
Yeah.
Obviously, for me, I live and breathe this space. The unofficial spokesperson for all things Veve and Akomi.
Yeah.
And obviously other people that have full-time jobs and they do whatever they can kind of only hear.
Randy's about to drop some exchange alpha. Let's go. Hit us. Let's hear it.
So the these blockchain detectives have found that a wallet holding 30-something billion OMI, which is I'm 99.99% sure that's the Akomi business development wallet, has sent about $80-ish thousand worth of OMI to BitGet, and that is about what they would use, or that would be their fee for a tier listing, and that's again not put two and two together. You are older, smarter, and a bit more experienced than me. You could definitely put that together.
So let me tell you,
literally 12 hours after these detectives found it, Akomi posted out a tweet saying like, "Hey guys, remember this article that we posted a couple weeks ago when we said we wanted to give you more access to the token and have it have more utility? Join the Discord for more updates." So they didn't address the exchange issue, but they referenced an article saying we're going to give you more accessibility to the token and more utilities to it. On top of that, I've already confirmed OMI to NFT, which we do not have currently, using your OMI to go and buy NFTs on the app. In the secondary market, I'm not sure about the primary as of yet. There will be an OMI to gem at some point, and when you're able to use your OMI to buy gems, again, that's the same thing. You'll be able to NFT. That's just people can list their collectibles, and people, instead of having to use their fiat to buy gems and then use those gems to buy.
Yeah, but when?
I would say Q2. It's possible we get it in Q1 in the next 5 weeks, but that is Q2.
If that stuff comes, dude, I'm sold. I'm just waiting for that to happen. You know what I mean? So, like I'm the person that's like, I don't need to be early on this, right? Like I was early already to Veve, like I'm good. Yeah. Like, to me, it's like once the team actually does it, which I'm sure they will, and I realize this takes time to build a business of this magnitude. I get it. What up, Bleezy? Yeah. Like I get it, right? But ultimately, look, like if they deliver on one of those things, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm in. I'll come with everything. Like
I mean, I'm telling you, it's coming, and like we just don't know when.
Yeah.
On top of that, that's not the catalyst that will. I mean, that is going to be a catalyst, and that will launch us. But there are other things happening beforehand. One of those things is the one group of people putting about $1 million in this. There's another 2 people that are going to put a multiple of that in. I don't know if they're going to wait for BitGet to get in, just so they have liquidity, or if they're going to use trading bots and just take 2 weeks and do that themselves. I don't have a timeline on them. And outside of that, you also have OMI to accessory. And what that means is, hey, I don't know if you ever played Among Us or any game with any microtransactions, where you go and you get a new skin for your guy, or you go and get a little hat or something that follows you around. You're going to be able to do that for your collectibles. Oh, you like your Superman collectible? Put a Christmas hat on him, or go and change the color of his cape, or go do this. And those microtransactions, which are, a couple dollars each, when you have hundreds of thousands of people going and doing that each, and all of that burns OMI, that's a lot. So obviously OMI will become deflationary. It will be listed as a metaverse token, not just a utility token. So are you transferring right now?
No, I'm letting the chat know. I said, I don't think Randy knows how much homework I've done actually on the OMI token.
I don't. I haven't. I don't know.
Bro, when I tell you, so I used to be a really big holder. When I take a position in anything, right? I'm doing my homework a million times over. Who do you think was the one putting people to sleep in Twitter Spaces, talking about OMI and trying to Dave? We need to Dave, but everybody needs to hear this. All right, cool. I mean, start talking. Nobody wanted to hear, like nobody wants to hear that kind of stuff. But ultimately, we do the background work, right? On Twitter Spaces, like I'm telling you, we do so much work. This big get stuff, me and Angel were tackling this 4 nights ago already. You know what I mean? Like right when we saw that tweet, it was like, okay, this stuff happens in real time. Legit, it happens in real time. So me and Angel were like, okay, now we're going back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, Angel, Bit gets an exchange, but it's also a decentralized wallet. So it could be both. Now we got to trace it back, right? So now Angel's looking at this and tracing it back. So ultimately, like we do this homework. We genuinely do it. So like everyone, I mean, at least I don't want to speak for Angel because he's just getting up to speed on everything. But what I think he realized also is, you better stop, Angel.
My man.
Yeah. What he realized the other day was we were talking about bridging or something, and he said something. He's like, no, you don't understand how bridging works. And I said, no, you don't understand how Veve works. Veve and this whole ecosystem is its own animal. Like it's such a unique case. But yeah, bro, I've done my homework. I'm still keeping up to date. Like my ear is always to the ground on everything, for sure.
That's great. So there's a question from Jab saying, Dave, what do you think STX can do from here? What multiple, like if you put in $1,000 now, what multiple can you get in the next 12 to 15 months? And then I'll answer the OMI part.
Y'all trying to make me out to sound like Cavell out here if I say something fucking crazy. Like, shit. Yes, I do think it can absolutely 20x from these levels. By when? Look, Jay Yaz, I fucking hate you, bro. Yes, I do think that it can absolutely 20x, if not more, from the current levels. It's like 250 right now, right? So you're talking about $25-$50. And I tell this to everybody, right? If you have conviction in something, like have conviction, have a strategy. Nobody that bought Bitcoin at $100, right, or $50 was saying to themselves, "Oh yeah, it's going to go to 50, like 53,000." Nobody said that. Now I'm not saying Stacks is the next Bitcoin, but look, to go to $50, $40, $30, I absolutely think it can. So I think a 10x is absolutely in the cards, like between now and the end of the year, no problem. I do think a 20x, like from that point on. And I think that for a multitude of reasons, but yeah, we don't got to bore everybody with that. Yes, I do think it can 100%.
So market cap right now is about 3.6 billion, which is a 20x from there, which is very, very doable for a company like that. Let's say so that'd be about 72 billion. That's a lot, but that is something that is, you've seen Dogecoin went up to about like almost 100 billion last bull market.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly where Dogecoin went. And if you look at right now, you have USDT's at 97, BNB's at 58 billion, right? Right behind them, Sol at 45 billion, and Sol, like this is probably 2 or 3x cheaper than where Sol was making their highs at 250, if you remember, right, in 2021.
And obviously the stuff this bull market will surpass a lot of the stuff that happened last bull, because now you have institutional money coming in. Stacks is already a top 30. So you have.
I don't know. For Stacks, I think yes, but I don't think we're going to. I genuinely, I'm not convinced yet, only because 2021 was super unique, right? Like they were getting free money from the government, right? You know how much disposable income, right? Like people were actually dealing, that's how I got into this. Like I just told you, it was like, holy shit, like this is what I'm doing. Like I got free money from the state of California and they said, here you go. And I was like, all right, bet, let's go. I'm going to go do something. And that's where I put the money in. And a lot of people did the same shit with Doge and with everything else. So I don't know if that kind of money is going to be back. I think we'll see crazy valuations, but I think you're going to have to do homework and weed out what are the good ones and what's the shit,
Yeah. I don't know the exact percentages of how many people that were receiving those $1,200 checks were putting it into crypto. I know a lot were putting it into Pokemon, made my bags pump, which was great. But you do have the rate cuts that are starting to happen at a rate cut of about 0.25%. That you have $1 trillion rip into the markets. You have a market melt up over the next 6 to 8 months. the change of presidency may or may not happen, and then you just have the things that are super bullish: Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs. So I'm trying to make a good base or bull case for you that Stacks can do 72 billion or even go beyond, maybe 100. So maybe it goes 23, 25x.
Especially if it's used as a payment rail, right? Like if it's used as a payment rail, then forget about it. Like then people can really start using Bitcoin as like payment. You can go to the supermarket and use your freaking wallet, right, to buy your groceries with Bitcoin and not have to wait 30 minutes, right? Like you can get it done right then and there. So that's powerful stuff, bro.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of adoption for it, which is great. So let's say it even goes 25x. That's absolutely
wait. Hold on. Is my screen not clear? Because these fuckers right now.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. You're a little like a potato quality almost.
What? Why did you see? Everybody gives me shit. You guys got to tell me something. Hold on.
My bad, bro.
Wait, is it the internet connection or is it the
I don't know. I mean, try wiping the camera if you have alcohol.
Yeah.
And then, although it was clear before, so it shouldn't be the lens unless Bubba sneezed on it somehow.
Hold on. I'm gonna go get some alcohol. Wait a minute.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. 23 minutes ago, Dave's camera just went off. YouTube goes through the STX blockchain. Yeah, he's making me pretty bullish on it. I said, yeah, what up, Rolly? That's gonna outpace. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things are gonna outpace Bitcoin. You know, and Bitcoin will likely do. Let's say Bitcoin does a 4x from here, which is really bullish, going up to 200K. I think that's a lot, but doable. It's slightly better, but I think it's the internet. Yeah, apparently it started 23 minutes ago when you had it's Village saying what happened to Dave's camera.
Yeah, when I saw Village come across the screen and say, "Oh, Dave is the Spaces version of Village," I was like, "This is fucking. There's no way right now."
Oh, so I mean, we could still see who you are. We could still see whatever. I was getting.
That's not good. That's not good. You like y'all need to see this pretty face. Hold on a second. Let me close some stuff.
We should trade cameras. They do not need to see this face. Well, I'll send you mine. Hold on. Well, while we get to, want to get back to the OMI thing, JP Tree says Epico has more listings coming soon. New GameFi token from Warp Street Studios, great tokenomics, partners with Komi Veve, Katana Inu, and more. Don't sleep on this low cap. It's about $1 million market cap right now. It is possible that it goes and it blows up in India. It's basically what they did was they took Clash Royale and they rebranded it with Indian lore, which is it is cool and it is fun, just like Clash Royale, but it's kind of like the discount version of Clash Royale, and there's just not a lot of people that play. That could it get adopted? Absolutely. Thomas06 says David went into witness protection video after the zero OB comment. Oh, that's great. So anyway, I'll go over the can OMI 25x from here, and I'll say that my base case is 8 to 10 cents. Which would be about a 80 to 90-ish x from here. My bear case is about 2 to 4 cents, so that'd be about a 20 to 37x from here, and that's my bear case. At the rate of which the market cap at 10 cents would be $30 billion market cap, so it'd be about half of or less than half of what SPACs could be or would be, and that's not including any burns for deflationary stuff. There is my bull case where it can go, 40, 50 billion dollar. And then the golden goose scenario, which is not likely to happen, but I think things in crypto happen that shouldn't happen all the time, where it can get to, where it could get to close to that $100 billion market cap as well. Because as far as I don't know how many other people outside of what type of influence, can you reference whether it's an Andre Jick or somebody that goes and talks about stacks on YouTube?
I can't reference a single one.
I'm sure there are people talking about it because it's in the top 30 crypto.
The people that are talking about it are ultimately the people that are building on it, right? It's all these different protocols, right? So every day, if you look on, if you follow the Stacks Foundation and the Stacking DAO, right? Every day there's different protocols that they're the ones. They are the actual ones that are out there talking about it, hosting Twitter Spaces with 1,000 people every day. And me too. Shout out. Shout out Sailor's dad. Appreciate that. Thanks, Rolly. And me too, right? Like I'm evangelizing this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What the fuck? This is so. I can't be. I have a reputation to maintain, guys. I can't because it's the second time now that somebody said it, and I genuinely don't know if it's the
well, these comments are from like 25 minutes ago, so it was from I'm just way behind on comments because.
But if I still look like a potato, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Do I still look like a potato?
No, I think you look better. Rolex should have taken 75K made off of that play and drop it into Omi Dave. I mean, I think so, but that's me.
Yeah, Rolly, you're gonna get literally the polar opposite ends of the spectrum right here, right? Like he's gonna be like, yes, like dump that shit. I'm gonna be like, you crazy.
Well, to be fair, I would say that to anyone without knowing really what it is.
Yeah. Come on, man. Let me see if I can fix this internet. Hold up.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna close this. Wait, so Randy, can I leave and come right back? So I'm gonna close all this shit down because I feel like so I have a problem where I don't close tabs on my computer.
How many tabs you got open, Dave?
Omi Queen. I literally just counted for you. I had 46 tabs open on one browser and probably 20, I think it was like 22 or 23 on the other. So
go.
Should we give it like a fresh restart real quick and I'll come right back?
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right. I'm coming right back.
I feel like my version of that is like me thinking about something, going to another thing and another thing, and maybe I don't have 46 tabs open, but rip his computer. What's up, Rolly? How's it going? Sorry, just drinking some Cinnabon Delight here. Jabs, laughing, boo, zero Omi, boo. Yeah, I mean, we'll see who's right at the end of it. And again, it's not that someone's going to be right, and someone's going to be wrong. Obviously, Stacks is going to continue to grow, and it'll get adopted, and you'll see at least a 10x. He thinks it can go 20, 25x. If it's the number 29, generally anything in the top 50 usually kind of sees a little bit of a pump. Are you going to have to wait, 6 months in order for that to happen? Sure, but that maybe might not. BFAM says, Dave, move to where your head is blocking the light behind you. I don't know if that was a thing. Well, I mean, I know it's a thing, but I think it was just all like pixelated. Like it was like PS1 graphics. We're getting PS1 Dave. But I will show him this when he gets back. Fam, I hope you're doing well. Smart money. Easy. Yeah, Bill Garner had no Omi. It was wild. Deb says Omi bottom 3 weeks ago. Yeah, Omi definitely bottom at 00 or 0055. There's a lot of people right now that are waiting for it to go back to 000s, and it may or may not happen. Did he? Oh, okay. All right. Hi, ma'am. Sorry, I just got your text, ma'am. I will message him when he gets back. I'll just let him know. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are wanting to buy Omi. Like, I want to get. I was talking to a big whale yesterday, and he was like, I want to buy more at 00065. I was like, my guy, it has a couple weeks to get back down to 000s. I do not believe we get down to 00065. Like, not unless someone on the BV team gets like, I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna say. Yeah, likely that's not going to happen. If it did, that'd be great. I would buy so much more Omi if it went down. That would be perfect if that happened in like 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think it will because we're gonna have a lot of catalysts for that. And again, I love Dave. It's not like I'm trying to, swing Omi's giant green candle around. But I want Dave to be successful. I want him to go and tell Wolf Financial in a year, hey, I went and made $1 million on Omi, and I don't need to really work anymore. I want him to be able to do that because I love him. He's awesome. He's such a cool dude. He's so chill, and I love these spirited debates. Best Buzz says, Brooke? No, that was Dave. Bruh, time to take you to Omi school, okay? Randy? I feel like I only got halfway through the pitch. I don't know if he recognizes that this will likely be worth, in the tens of billions of dollars. Now, obviously, Stacks is going to be worth tens of billions of dollars too, but Stacks is already worth almost $4 billion. Omi's not even. Omi's in a couple hundred millions. It has. I don't think Omi's even has half a billion market cap. And even if you haven't heard of Veve or Omi, you sure as heck know Mickey Mouse. Sure as heck know Superman and Spider-Man. Stacks is great, but how many other really good cryptos like that are there that are as undervalued as Omi is? And again, Stacks is great. Stacks will continue to grow, but I just think the better ROI is for Omi. And I hope I can kind of get through. So he just maybe not sell Stacks, maybe something else. Yeah, the only way is up. Agreed. Thomas 06. He said, "What? Zero? Randy's time to shine. Trying." I was supposed to love it. No Omi homie. Davey's my dude. No Omi. He's a no Omi homie. He's my dude as well. Connect those electrodes, Randy. Trying. Best Buzz is facts. Oh, yeah. I know when listen to that Ben Shapiro rap. That was amazing. And as the R is saying, Omi, $300 million market cap. Just saying, it's still fetus. Entry here is quite lucrative. Entry here is absolutely bananas. Yeah, you're right. It's about 300 million. So it's literally less than 1/10 the market cap of Stacks. So let's bring back the man. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect now.
Yeah.
So just a little compare and contrast. Stacks has almost a $4 billion market cap. Omi has like a $300 million market cap. And I'm not saying that Omi is going to have the same market cap as Stacks at the peak of the bull run. Stacks will likely be higher, but even if it only gets to half of where Stacks is, you have a lot more ROI on Omi than you do Stacks. I'm not saying sell Stacks for Omi, but if you have other things that maybe are only going to do a 4x, like Bitcoin, that goes 200,000. That's a 4x from here. Sell that.
You know what I call that?
What?
First world problems. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you're only going to get a 4x out of this, then you know what? I'll take the 4x and I'll roll some of those 4x profits no matter where the Omi price is, and I will gladly pay for it at that point if I still see that the opportunity is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, when Bitcoin 2x's and like, all right, that's good. And then by that time, Omi has, done a 10x. It's like, okay, maybe I don't know if there's probably going to be other better things to buy when Omi's at 5 cents. And, that's just mine.
I mean, look, if when Omi gets to 5 cents, sorry, there's something I got a piece of dust or something here. If Omi gets to 5 cents, bro, I mean, look, when I say I have no Omi compared to what I used to own, I have no Omi, right? But if Omi starts to really do something and really starts to move, then I'm gonna get in at some point, right? Like it's not like I'm not gonna sit on the sideline and watch everybody get fucking rich. You know what I mean? Like I want to be along for the ride. I have a small, I guess what prop calls the baby bag, right? Like you have the little baby bag and it's just kind of sitting there. You know what I mean? It's not like this, hey, like I got millions over here. I look at it compared to like the conviction I had like in the beginning. I don't even want to say conviction. It was almost naive, right? Like because I didn't really know what I was like. I didn't know what I was investing in. So just quick story. When I found Veve through Omi, like a lot of people, and I bought Veve. I think I bought Omi at like, I think it was like 0.8 of a penny. So 0.008.
Yeah.
0.008. My cousin called me and said, yo, I heard about this company. They got some NFL contract, And I'm like, all right, let me look into it. So I put in a couple $1,000s or whatever, and I wrote it up. And right as it was at like 0.11, I started reading more and more. I started looking into it. And I'm like, what is this? 700 billion tokens. Now, you have to remember, like I have a Wall Street like mentality, right? Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my God, 700 billion. This company, it's full of shit right off the bat. Like I'm not even going to talk. I'm not even going to look at this. So I was like, fuck it. So I sold and I made a small little profit, right? And I never revisited it. I didn't revisit it until I forgot what it was. I didn't revisit it until like it dropped like 50% from the highs. And then I was like, okay. Cause then I started ingraining myself more in the community, right? Like, cause I got into Omi March and I think I didn't really buy my first Veve collectible until like April, May, something like that. But once I started with the collectibles and I started really coming into spaces and really listening to the fucking wildness that was Twitter Spaces, I was saying to myself, this is going to be something crazy. and then I decided to I put the money towards the collectibles. Like that for me,
Yeah.
the conviction I had was towards the digital collectibles. When I heard the Marvel news, I was like, you know what? I took $3,000. I called my friends and I was like, just in case, I don't know if anybody's gonna give me shit. I was like, put this in your wallets and you're all gonna do this and blah blah blah. And I ended up going ham on. I think I bought something like, I don't know, 50, 60 Spider-Mans like off the drop. And I kind of sat on those, and that was kind of like the play money. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, those ones super high.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, now the collection is mostly comic books for the most part, right? Not many collectibles at all. Mostly comic books. I think that's the future of all this.
Yeah.
Is the we talked about this on Spaces, but like for those that didn't hear, but the repurposing of these assets, these old assets, and now like Disney gets to profit off it. Like this is going to be the biggest cash cow, in my opinion, that Disney has ever seen, had, you name it. So yeah,
agreed.
Like I don't need to tell people that yeah.
Just to go, and we'll talk about comics in a sec. Just Andrew the R is saying the X account replied saying there are no current plans. That is not quite true. The X account on BitGet support said there's no news regarding OMI token listings on BitGet yet, meaning like, oh, there's no news on it being listed yet, as in they're waiting to go and list it, or they're waiting to release the news. But yeah, the comics, they have a big meeting with a big panel with Marvel at South by Southwest Music Festival that's going on I think the 18th of March. And when they go and do that, they're going to have a big announcement. We're not 100% sure what it is yet. It's the 14th of March. Apologies. And most likely, again, what I'm saying is they're going to say, we're going to continue to go and print physical comics, but we're now going to release digital comics on Veve. That's probably my assumption. I could be wrong. It could be something completely different.
Wait, who's going to release digital comics on Veve?
I know, but they release digital comics of stuff that's already been made, like e-comics and whatever. I'm talking about
you're saying new, like brand new comics that are going to hit the market are going to be coming to Veve as like Veve's like the comic book, the digital comic book store.
That is my I don't say assumption. That is where the evidence seems to point. Yes.
Interesting. I'm trying to think if we actually ever had that debate in Spaces. I don't think we actually have ever really, or at least I've never been around for that debate, but that's actually super interesting. I mean, yeah, that's actually really interesting. Like I'm with the whole, like I loved it when I saw the logos come out. I think Veve developing their own line of stuff is almost like insurance policy, because I think everybody was freaking out like, oh, what are we going to do? Like, we don't know. What if the contract, what if they break the contract and they leave? And I'm like, yo, if I brought you a bag of money, right, every single week, right, like, and you did literally nothing, it's literally the mafia. You're Tony, like Disney's Tony Soprano, and he's sitting there like this, being like, oh, where's the fucking money? Like bring the money. And Veve is delivering him them bags of cash. So like the contract isn't going anywhere. It's a matter of what the terms of the contract are, right? Yeah. So ultimately, I really can't see how this doesn't end up playing out like in Veve's favor, like really, really well, between what they're developing themselves, the way in which they're like the drops are selling out. Look how many active wallets we have, and they're selling out now. When they figure out, the one thing though, I got to be honest, and people might not like this either, but hey, it is what it is. Like, I think the team, they need help, bro. They need a lot of help.
With what?
I think, like with marketing. I mean, I think they, or maybe they're on.
They haven't really started marketing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like if marketing is not in the plans now, then I guess like, when do you start marketing? Right. It's been 3 years, right? It's like, okay, you caught up, you went through the hyper growth phase, but now it's like, you're seeing, we went from, hearing Al Kahn and all these guys and talk about like, we want this to be, we want there to be collectibles and everything in the store for when people get here. Yeah, but when you're used to selling out drops, like drop in, drop out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when that's happening, like you want to keep the Disney execs happy. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, as much as you want stuff for people to like pick on. And what is there in the app right now? Let me ask you a question. If you were brand new to Veve right now, and you went and you opened up the app, would you be like, ooh, look at all this stuff that I can purchase? Not the market, but like in the store.
Am I a brand new person to Web3, or am I a Web2 person, or am I brand new knowing what I know about business as Randy Chavez?
You're just a brand new person that somebody told you about. You're not a big like you're not this avid collector. You don't have the crazy knowledge about it.
Okay.
But you let's say you do stuff like you're an investor, like to a certain degree.
Okay.
Do you see you're an average person, let's just leave it really simple. Do you see an opportunity, or do you look at this and say, oh, this is stuff I want to buy?
If I'm average investor with a slightly above average intelligence about things that are under and overvalued, I would say like, okay, well, there's got to be a reason why these things are still in the store and they haven't been bought out, but these things have been. And what did they sell at retail and what are they selling on the secondary? What type of IP is it? I would see opportunity there. I don't know if it would really matter to me if it was in the store or if I had to buy it on the secondary. It would. So I mean, there could be nothing in the store and it wouldn't affect me one way or the other, or there could be a lot of things. That's not really a thing.
Right.
Maybe in certain cases, I would say like, oh, okay, in Kanto, my kids or whoever that took over the world a couple years ago, like Frozen did. We don't talk about Bruno, and their stuff is still in the store. That to me is something that's hyper misrepresented by the group of people that are here, showing the lack of interest in that. But if it's I would see that opportunity.
Do you know of people that, or like parents that do this like with their kids, like that actually like do drops, and aside from the Johns and all those crazies, but like, do you know like of people that actually go and buy digital collectibles and actually use and play with these things, like, and actually use them? And I'm asking that genuinely. I'm not trying to be a smart ass or anything like that. Like, for real.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Ask anything. This open. You can ask me whatever you want.
Yeah, good.
The percentage is probably relatively low. These things are pretty close to my heart, because when I do see people like, hey, Randy, listen, me and my brothers, we would kind of like see each other on holidays, and we'd talk every now and then. But now, like, for really good drops, we're in a group text now. Hey, what are you buying? Hey, what are these things? And again, that's a small percentage of the people that are here. Where this girl Tammy's I stream with sometimes. She does it with her grandkids. Lori Brenner, Veve, does it with her husband and her son. So again, I would say a small percentage, but that is growing. Like, the amount of messages I've gotten about that have the trajectory on that, which is going up and to the right, is nice. Overall, I would say it's maybe 5%. But I think that number will, even if that number percentage-wise doesn't grow and it only drops to 2.5%, I'm fine with that, as long as the growth of the API and the KPI of the users grow farther, if that makes sense.
So, yeah, it does. So when they do start to market, right? Like, who do you think is their target market? Like where should they market?
Right now, most of the people that watch me are between, I would say, like 28 and like 44. And because that's the people that grew up with all this stuff, with Star Wars and a bunch of the Disney stuff, and they're the ones that are really doing the spending. It's really hard to market to kids because they don't have those big boy jobs yet. Pokemon was, not want to say dead, but it took forever to move a first edition PSA 10 Charizard, like 10 years ago. It wasn't until we all kind of grew up, we got those big boy jobs, and we had this, recurring income every couple of weeks, that we were able to push that. So doing something and that's why I think in Kanto right now, because it's so new and the people that like it, even some of the Frozen stuff is Frozen like 10 years old. So maybe those kids that saw it when they were 10, they're like 20 now. Maybe they're starting to get into the workforce, but I would say that's probably it. But it's not necessarily an age group. It's going to be a hemisphere thing. Us right now in the West, and I guess in people in Europe, that's the big market. We have next to nobody in Asia right now. And I'm not sure you're aware of the Alibaba partnership that they have. They don't go, and they haven't officially announced what it's going to be, but it's
not a partnership. It's a memorandum of understanding. An MOU and a partnership are two very different things.
That is
we
fair.
can say anything. I'm just saying.
That's all right. You're right. Words matter. And I misspoke. So that's fair. But let me ask you, what do you think that, I think Alibaba chooses 13 companies per year to sign memorandums with in that way, where they go and they announce that they have a whole big day out of it. What do you think that represents? Do you think they're just using it for like their version of AWS, where they do a couple 100,000 in business a year? Or do you think that Veve is going to use Alibaba's Alipay to onboard crypto and fiat users from people in the East?
Here's what I will say, right? Either one of those scenarios would be massively amazing news for the company. But what I will tell you is what pushes all of this forward is speculation. And I think David Yu is the master, like, and I mean the master at fueling that speculation, like, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. My man is doing his job and he's doing it really friggin' well, because nobody knows where this stuff is going to turn out. Nobody. Like, we have no idea how this is going to go. We can only just make a calculated bet, right? Like on based on the information that we currently have now. Oh, yeah. Tony, that was worth the $5. I'll come to you I'll get there in a second.
Okay, we'll get there in a second. You finish
We'll get there. I think what he does, like what David Yu does, is fuel this speculation fire like incredibly well. My man is a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, he acts like a celebrity, and in a way, I like that about him, right? But ultimately, like, I agree with you on the Asia side. Like, I think Asia, like, people here are disillusioned. Like, I was running this a gaming space yesterday, and somebody was trying to say that the North American market was like the market that we have to penetrate. And they're like, do you know how many gamers are in Asia? Like, do you know? Like, do you even understand what's going on? And like, if we crack 10%, 5% of the Asian market,
10%
the whole game changes, in my opinion. It really does. So, and I feel like he's trying to make those inroads. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely believe that, like, it's just a natural fit, right? Like, when we were talking localization, I remember those days. But
yeah, and that's still coming. But let me just for numbers here. China alone has about 900 million smartphones. So 10% of that is 90 million. That 10% is a lot. I'm gonna say 1% is a good goal. And even if we fall short of that, we don't get 9 million, so we get 0.5%. We get 4.5 million, and that's just out of China, including India, South Korea. My experience in Earth 2 tells me that South Korea comes in, they buy up all of the grails. Earth 2, they bought up all the monument spots. They got Statue of Liberty, which I'm very salty about, and they got in every single country. They wouldn't just do it in the US, they'd do it with everyone. And they're going to do that on Veve. And it's not just South Korea. You have all those companies in Japan and China and hedge funds on top of that. We have one person, it's an account called the Zoj Man that has about 45,000 collectibles. And that's not a person. That's definitely a conglomerate of people or a hedge fund, because they don't have BYC, KYB yet, your business, they only have KYC. So only doing it from that. That's another thing. KYB is a big thing. But let's get to the super chat. Dalla Dazzler says, me waking up my kids at 2 a.m. to do the drop. But yeah, what about your Star Trek Enterprise special mint? Has it got number 69?
No, bro. It's not a special mint. It is a special mint. It's a special mint because I made it a special mint, ultimately, and everybody knows it because I didn't shut the fuck up about it for yeah, it was a minute. And everybody's been teasing me about it ever since. So I think it was, what was it? The summer of 2022. I was by my sister's place and I was doing the drop with my nieces and nephews. And it was the lowest mint I had ever gotten on drop. We did. I'm going to say this shit. I fucking hate you guys. The Star Trek Enterprise the mint I got was number 45. And when I tell you, like, I was so excited that I got this, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm like 2-3 like mints away from like the lowest public mint. This is amazing. And I was like, I'm going to get so much money for this. It's going to be incredible. Cause I was flipping in the early days. Right. Yeah. And I went on, I think I commented I think it was under one of Dan's posts. And O'Malley called me out. He's like, look at Dave, like less than 5 minutes after I'm shaking ass under Dan, under Dan's posts. One thing I know how to do, Randy, is like sell myself and like I hustle, right? So I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I genuinely don't. But when I tell you, I was throwing that out to the point where it became like its own meme. Literally, like the Star Trek Enterprise number 45 and fucking Lori will never let me live this one down. Shout out Queen Veve, where she was like, not the big one, the little one. I'm like, okay, relax. So it's not the one that you can fucking expand on. She gives me shit on that all the time. But it got to a point also where as time went on, right, I would get offers and the offers just kept getting worse and worse.
Oh,
And it came to a culmination one night and I was like, Sanjay, listen, I got a number 45 Star Trek Enterprise. What are we doing? I was like, make me an offer. And he offered me $400, right? When you look at that shit now, it was like,
good
yo,
deal.
listen, I was like, $400? I told him verbatim. I said, come on, Sanjay, did you come to negotiate or what? That thing's worth way more than $400. And he was like, you know what? Okay, fine. And then he lowered the offer to $200. Like, I was like, what the fuck, Sanjay? That is so fucked up. But yeah, that was my last opportunity to sell the Star Trek Enterprise number 45. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
People are saying that they removed their glasses and see Dave really clearly now. I guess the camera did it again.
Hello, you see me now.
So talking about Veve, I guess we'll talk about one of the top grails. With every whale I talk to, with every influential person, we talk about Superman, Secret Rare Spider-Man, Todd Batman, Riso Batman, but the two that come up most are the partner statue, first appearance of Walt and Mickey, and then the gold silver Veve logo.
Yeah.
I know I don't think you have the gold silver Veve logo, but do you have a partner statue?
Why do you say it like that? Like, why do you say like, oh, I don't have a gold and silver logo? Like, I don't understand. Like, should I not have a gold and silver logo? Want to hear the story?
If you did, Sanjay would make sure you're in that Telegram chat. And I just don't remember seeing you there. So I figured that's why you didn't, or that's why I didn't see you there, is because you didn't have one.
It wasn't for lack of effort, man. I'll tell you that much. David, you sold me on some bullshit when I met him at at Decon. I thought me and B Grant had it down. We made him these amazing titanium gold and silver logos to exchange with them. Dude, I gave him and Dan like replacement ones. You have no idea what we did. Like, I'm telling you, shout out, bro. Shout out to B Grant. Like, I'm telling you, like, we went above and beyond. Wait, B Grant, did you get one? No. If B Grant got one, then I'm gonna feel like a real idiot. But nah. Ultimately, we never ended up getting one. He was like, I don't have any more. You got to come back tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow? I don't live right around the corner, David. Come on, man. But yeah, I guess I could have gone back the next day. People did say that he did give out a couple over there, but nah, I never got one of those. But in regards to the grails, yeah, I think it's the partner statue. You know what I mean? I keep hearing now Miles Morales and this and that, but I don't throw I don't throw my 2 cents into a lot of the Veve conversations anymore because, at the end of the day, like if I'm not trading on there or whatever, like I don't really have any business. Go on the balcony. I don't really have any business commenting on it. So for me, what you want to know something that was really surprising to me is when what's her name sold the 19 what was it the
1923
the
Disney
1923 well yeah
25,000
25 or 15,000 she sold it for.
I don't know about previously, but it was recently bought like 2 months ago for 25,000.
Right, I think it was Callie that sold it, right?
Corinne from Cali?
No, her name is like Callie Brooks.
Oh yeah, that was to that was to Rudy and Tina. They're the ones that wound up buying it.
25,000?
Yeah.
Nice. You're welcome, Fam Bam. Come join the party. I'll add you to the group. Nice. That's cool. Did they buy? How much did they pay for that? Like, what was the? I could have. Damn.
I don't know what Callie originally got it at. I don't know if I think it was her and like 2 other people that like co-owned it, right?
Yeah.
And then they sold it cumulatively for 25,000.
Yeah, I think it was her, Will, and Savdad, if I remember.
Yeah. But that was in like December. So that's and that'll likely sell for much higher. I think in general, the partner statue at the floor will go well above 25. I think it'll likely go to 40 to 50, and even higher, especially if it has some type of interoperability with whatever Disney's doing with Epic. That could be a real big game changer.
Where do you see Veve coming into play? I'm so surprised. What did he say? Anyone shocked at what?
I'm shocked that Dave not having Omi is delusional. You know how many X's have been made in the bear while Omi stayed dormant. Yeah. That's fair. People did not buy Omi in the bear. That's why the price stayed stagnant. It was only me and a couple other people buying a 00055, and the stuff that we bought recently, that's doubled. But yeah, most people didn't. People don't buy when it's boring. People will buy when the prices are higher, when it's exciting. But for
Yo, Nino, you're fucked. You're messed up, bro. Yeah. Wait. So the gold and silver secret rare logo is sitting at 8,000. Is sitting at $8,100.
Yes. The last confirmed sale we had, I think, was 6,500. So
Wow.
it's just been a couple of delistings from 65 to 8. But the reason why it kind of spiked a little bit last month is because before you, it was like a month ago, I had the Dogecoin Millionaire on, and we had we were on for 90 minutes on camera, and then off camera we talked for like another hour and a half, 2 hours, and I sold him on the gold silver Veve logo. He picked one up, and then I told him, or I told him like a week later, hey, tell Andre Jick that there's another gold silver Veve logo. It was at like $4,500, but it had none of the redemptions were redeemed, so you could go and get like $1,000 worth of product by going and getting this and redeeming it at an event. And it's like, okay. And then Andre Jick got one, and then people got FOMO, and then you had since then 8 or 9 of them get bought out. So it's
where do you see these things at, these gold? Do you see that as I mean, if that's the full access pass, right, then ultimately I get it, in terms of how it can be considered the grail on the app. I think it's the value that's going to be driven behind it. I guess up until now, I don't know. I know that, it's an IRL thing, right? You have to be at an IRL event, but what have people gotten with it up until now? I mean, other than obviously the speculation behind what it's going to be and blah, 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 what have people actually gotten from some of these Comic-Cons and shit, with that?
So as of right now, if you were to get one that didn't redeem any of its redemptions, each year you get one or two things that are not airdrops. You have to be at a physical event, but they'll give you a card with a code on it.
Yeah.
And you put the code in on the app, and then they airdrop something to you. So I think those things, even though it's handing out in 2022, now at 2024, you'd be looking at maybe about $1,100 to $1,200 worth of redemptions on that. You maybe get redemptions with a couple hundred a year. That's not going to be the big catalyst for it. The big reason why people go and buy it for the exclusivity, for the network, not including David and Dan, that network of the gold and silver Veve logo. You have.
Is there a chat?
That's got to be worth tens of millions.
Silver chat, gold and silver logo chat, kind of there's the Spider-Man and Todd and all that shit. So
yes.
Who's in that chat?
Who's not in the? Well, I can tell you. All right, so in the chat, just on Telegram, you have Mr. MC1 that goes on and kind of runs it. I mean, David's in it. He stops by very sporadically. I'd say a couple times a year. He doesn't go in there very often.
Yeah.
You do have the Acomi community manager, Foster Hilt, that's in there. You do have a plethora of incredible, successful business owners that are in there. The people that are in the gold and silver Veve logo chat, most of them, I don't want to go and put a class warfare on here, but you're already seeing that the logo kind of fall into hands of not only just collectors that love this family, but they are falling into hands of the 1%. And if you want to go and interact with them and have the idea, I've seen a lot of business deals go down, not in that chat, but people from that chat in real life go and say, oh, hey, I have this. Oh, I can do this. And then deals that are worth tens of thousands or more get done. And there's the people that are, so for example, I have coming on the next 2 weeks, Robert A. Scherger, BJ Scherger, who's the sports commissioner of Ohio, has a law firm. And he's part of that whale group out in Ohio, big OMI holder. He's got a gold silver Veve logo. Some people met Greg Schultz, who was at the party in 2022, the gold logo.
We hosted Greg Schultz in Twitter Spaces, me and Mainzy.
Yeah, he's so cool, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And I realized he was a political consultant, an advisor to Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing in Spaces?
Well, he's really big. Yeah,
that's funny.
He's really big. So I met him at VCon in 2022. Okay. And he's really big into Web3. He's got the logo. He's got a lot of Omi. Not as much as me because he's not crazy, but he's got a lot. And
interesting. Honestly, like that to me, that makes that logo that just the value that it can drive for me personally and my business and what it is that I do.
Yeah.
I would love to have access to people like that. So like that is something that I would probably consider at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like
so
that's
price prediction tens of thousands. I would say 45,000 probably gets to.
yeah, if they drive the value, man. I mean, I hate making price predictions, but and I want to see, like, I genuinely want to see this whole thing succeed. Like the value. Well, I guess what kind of value now? Well, I mean, look, you just put those kinds of, like, you put millionaires like that, like in a group chat, right? Guys that are like influence in a chat like that of 40, 50 guys and like men and women. To me, that's worth, like, that alone is probably worth $40,000-$50,000 because
Agreed.
the amount of business you can get from something like that. I mean, I just know how I would move in a group like that. So, and I would, I mean, yeah. That's
and that's just one aspect. You're gonna have these like finance bros that will go and say like, oh, all right, it's 3 ETH or you know like less than 3 ETH right now to buy one, and then for less than 3 ETH you can go in and make it seem like you're actually friends with David and Dan who are, you know, own this like $1 billion company. They'll be worth tens or even hundreds of billions in the future because of the amount of Omi they have. And I'll be like, listen, it's one thing to have like take a picture with like Derek Jeter or whatever, and it's like, hey, I met him, that's cool. But to multiple times a year to go to a party and get selfies with these guys, you can go make it seem like you have a relationship, like you are friends with them and you party with them multiple times a year. And I know that sounds so incredibly vain and so incredibly egotistical.
It
But
does.
how many people are like that? Even if it's 1% of people, which we know it's a lot more, how many people with $10,000, $20,000 are going to do that? People see Nicki Minaj at a nightclub and they spend $40,000 to get at the table right next to her just to be in the vicinity of her whereabouts. What are they going to do with this? What are hedge funds going to go and do and say like, I can talk to David and Dan each year and not have a freaking appointment? Easy. The 45, 50,000, that's a very conservative figure because of all of what I just told you right now.
So let me ask you this, right? So it like I think your conviction, right? Like I think this is where like the conviction, the lines get a little bit blurred with like the insanity in the conviction. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, like, look, like I get it, right? But if we're looking at this, and I'm a big proponent of like you get like in this era, in this space on Twitter, right? You get to actually meet. You have the opportunity to network with everybody. I mean, literally everybody. Whoever that was, that person's crazy. Omi oversized. Yo, like wild. But you have the ability to get with, like, to really talk to anyone, like genuinely talk to anyone. So the way I see it is, yeah, like you can get like, but what then? When I meet Dan and Dave, right? And I've met Dan and Dave, and like they're the nicest guys in the world, but it's not like, I'm not meeting these, like, you know what I mean? To me, if anything, that's why I kind of invested in this in the beginning, was like, they just seem like relatable, nice guys. Like, I don't see them as like, and I feel like people see these guys as like movie stars. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe because like I hung out with them, I drank with them, like, you know what I mean? Like I got drunk with them. Like, I don't know if that's what it means, like in the early days, but I just don't see them as like I don't know. Like, I'm not the guy spending 40,000 trying to get a table next to Nicki fucking Minaj. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, but you know the type of people that would.
Yes, I do.
And you know Absolutely. There's a lot of them.
Yes, 100%. I believe. Are you that type? Are you that type?
No, I would prefer. Well, I mean, it depends what Omi goes to. If I'm worth 20 million, do I spend 40K and getting us to Taylor Swift? Maybe. But,
Maybe.
But there's
you promised us a party, bro. Like, you promised us a party somewhere. I forgot where it was, but you promised us a party.
Well, there's multiple. So when Omi gets to sometime this bull market, everyone that has a secret rare alligator Loki, if you're in Orlando or at that time, I'll pay for your ticket to either Disney or Universal. And then when we go and hit, I said $1, but now that I have a lot more Omi than I thought I ever would, and I'm going to get a lot more. At some point, maybe this bull market, maybe probably next bull market, I'll have Lindsey Sterling play a private concert for a bunch of us.
Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know what the quality, maybe to have a gold silver logo. I don't know. Because if I do it for the Veve fam at that point, it's going to be like 100,000 people. So
yeah.
But yeah, and I don't think it's conviction. Well, it is conviction. And the lines I see very clearly. Again, I live and breathe this space and this company. I would say it's more, and I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. You had me on Spaces for, that essay I wrote for Tesla and Pokemon cards. Like, I have more conviction in this and the amount of money I'll get from this than anything else that I've ever done. I've seen the future, and the future is digital. We're not going to go, as much as people love Stranger Things and the 80s and the 90s. We're never going back. We're only going like one day out of the package. People walking around with their Apple Pro headsets on. Life will never be the same.
Yeah.
And like, what do you think is going to be the best cool thing about that? Playing with these digital collectibles in AR, being interoperable with that Disney verse and on Epic. This is stupid undervalued.
I think, Randy, we're the same. We're the same, right? Like, we just have conviction in two different things. And I don't say that I don't have conviction in the Omi token, right? Like, I might not have as much as you do, but I believe in the company. Like, I genuinely do. Like, and for me, like, I came here for the business and for the profit, but I stayed for the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did. What did he just say? What's Dave's X handle? It's literally right
so
there.
It's that, right? Yeah. So I just posted that. Yeah, I put that up after.
Same thing. But ultimately, like, I have, like, when I say, like, I came for the business, right? I came to make the money, but I also, at the end of the day, like, I stayed here for the people in this community. I think that's what this thing has. You better stop, bro. You catching up? Okay, I was like, they're still going with this nonsense.
Yeah, no, it's I'm like, oh, I'm actually only 12 minutes behind on comments now. So yeah.
Let's see. All right, I'm actually replying to people too.
Very good.
Yeah, and shout out to Tony, because like I sold Tony hella palindromes.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, those Skywalker lightsabers. That's when like, bro, that's when the bear market was tough. When I started selling some Veve shit, I was like, fuck, man, like this sucks. Who got a gold logo V2 at New York Comic Con? I wish I was at New York Comic Con. That was the one I missed. And I had to FaceTime everybody because everyone showed up for that one except fucking me. But yo, Randy, I was gonna say, like, and I gotta bounce in like 2 minutes because this dog's gonna kill me to take him outside. But
okay.
I want to, if you want to, right? I'd love to do a part 2 with you where I want to go into like Veve on this, like on a stream. Like, I want to go into like Veveverse. I want to talk about Futureverse. I want to talk about like what you see like with these different partnerships and how you see this metaverse stuff. Because I feel like, do you have an? Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. Do you have have you been in the Veveverse already?
No. And there's like a small reason why, but no, I haven't.
You're a terrible liar, by the way. Like, when you lie,
I'll tell you the reason.
Look the other way, bro.
Well, I'll tell you the reason. It's that they, they'll have you sign an NDA saying like you can't say anything about the Veveverse, and then in order to get in, you have to have your file or whatever like verified by someone on their Discord, and Discord is horrible for security. Those people don't technically work for the company. They're just contractors. They don't even get paid like normal. It's just the military and me, just bad operational security, bad info security. I'm not doing that. So it's been a little controversial, but I'm not going in the Veveverse until I don't have to pass by a firewall on somebody on Discord.
Right.
Looking at all my info. So
yeah, fair.
So, but I don't have any NDAs with the company. Like, people think like I secretly work for the company and I'm like getting paid and like I don't. But I don't have any. There's no contracts or anything. But yeah,
you know what it is though. It's like some of the stuff that like, because I remember how I told you this, like, right, like when I used to hear you say certain things, I'm like, is this real? Like, is this really happening? Like, is he really saying these things? Like I don't understand. I never knew what the YouTube game was about, right? Like, I never understood what like influencers like actually like did. You know what I mean? I mean, now for fuck's sake, like now I'm on Twitter Spaces all day. Now I made a fucking career out of it. Go figure. But ultimately, like I think the fact that like you talk so freely and so openly about stuff, I think should really tell people that, you know how hard it would be to keep track of, like, if he was to lie about something, you know how hard that would be to be, or like not say something, like he's going to say, you're going to say all this stuff, but you're not going to say this stuff. That would be, you'd be crazy, dude. And you're crazy, but you ain't that crazy. You're definitely not that crazy.
I'm a little crazy, but yeah, not that crazy.
Yeah, not that crazy.
But yeah, we'll totally do a part 2. We'll do a.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think. I mean, we'll figure out a date sometime in March, likely.
Up, come say goodbye. Come on.
Oh yeah, see the Bubba.
Come on, you want to say bye to everybody? Come, look in the camera. Look in the camera. Say hi. Okay, look here. Hi. Say bye. Say bye.
Oh, there you go. Bye.
He's like, yeah, I'm chilling.
Bye, Papa.
Listen, this was all, dude. I didn't even realize how much time passed. Like 90 minutes went by, and like we were just like, we were just kind of getting cooking. I feel like we're two people that could just talk and bullshit forever. You know what I mean? But
yeah, we could do this for hours. I mean, that's usually what happens. And we just stayed on topic mostly. Sometimes we go talk about Bigfoot or aliens, or like we go crazy with this sometimes.
Yeah, man, there was no shortage of shit to talk about. I'll tell you that much, with the amount of nonsense that goes on in my life. But yeah, bro, like I'd obviously love for you to come on. We could do another part 2, obviously, on the Wolf Web 3 channel.
Sure.
Thank you for doing that also, by the way. Like that was, at the time, like, believe it or not, like that was my highest viewed Twitter space.
Really?
To date. Yeah, man, legit, dude. You got a great following. You got great people that are following you, bro. Like you got loyal followers. And I think it gave people a chance to kind of get to know you a little bit. So we could do that with me on your channel next time. You know what I mean? Like if we want to get into the weeds. But
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure, man. But thank you. Like I appreciate you obviously inviting me on and having me on.
Of course. Lori Brenner, Queen Veve says 54 mini Star Wars ship.
You see? I told you. Lori, I knew I was waiting. I was like, where is Lori? The fact that Lori has not said a fucking word is driving me nuts. I didn't even know if she was in the chat. And I told you, she says the little one. She makes it a point to say the little one.
Yeah, she just sent me a text. I don't know if she's in the chat, but yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Shout out to Queen Veve. Like, yo, seriously, like Lori has been one of the, when I tell you, like, and we can get into this when we do a part 2, when I tell you Lori has, like, when I say save my ass on many, many occasions, right? Like, well, one mainly, but ultimately, like, Lori is she's a killer. She's so fucking loyal. I'm so glad I got to do like Queen's Court with her and everything else. And I got you, Lori. I owe you a phone call, by the way. I forgot to call her yesterday when I said I was going to call her back, but
how rude.
I know.
I love over there saying, first time listening to one of your podcasts, Randy. You don't seem as crazy as some of your ex posts. Thanks, man.
There you go. Is the dude?
I don't know. Maybe. But
yeah. Okay, Bubba, let's go. Yo, Randy, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right. I'll end it now. I'll talk to you all later, guys. I might even go live a little bit after this just to go over some of the Veve news. I'll catch you all later. Thanks for coming by. Bye, guys. Thanks for the super chats.